Happy Friday, everyone. Come on in, take a seat, join us for this week's episode of the Cluster Puck Podcast, part of the MHRT Network. Here at Center Ice, I am Nick, and joining me, as always, is Brit. How's it going, Brit?
The black box that I keep forgetting to ask if we could put a picture in there for when I'm not looking as sleek as you.
Oh, please. If I look slick, I'd be about 35 pounds lighter and have a nice facial hair. And yeah, you wish. Keep dreaming. But I guess I'll take a compliment where it's due. Appreciate that. Anyways.
It's good to see. I feel like last week we did a show. I feel like a long time ago.
Last week we did have a show. I know you had some scheduling conflicts that went down.
Oh,
so
okay.
Last we spoke, I guess just to bring people up to speed, we did talk about the forward group as a whole. We went line by line and discussed kind of what we think expectations were for the season. And I purposefully withheld doing defense and goaltenders because our resident best ever beer league goalie was not present. So now that she is, we can discuss that along with a couple other things that happened for media days that's been going on, for training camp practices that have been going on, and Brit, the first preseason games to be played in just 2 days' time.
Yeah.
So we're super excited for that.
How many days?
In 2 days from today. It's the first preseason game for the Avs. So before we begin, don't forget to like and subscribe and follow the MHRT Network so you can get notified when shows like the Cluster Puck Podcast go live. You can do so on the various social media platforms of your choosing. And if you want to follow us, we ask that you do so at the Cluster Puck Podcast on Facebook and at Cluster Puck Avs on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. Okay, Britt. So let's kind of dive into just what I wanted to talk about this week. I want to go pairing by pairing as well as the defense or the goaltending tandem, I think is how I'm going to do it. But we are still going to kind of go individual by player and just kind of give our thoughts about keys to success for them for the season, both as pairings and as tandems, but also as individual players. So I think let's just kind of dive right into this, honestly. So the first pairing, this one comes to no surprise. It's Cale Makar and it's Devon Toews. Where, I guess, do you see this D pair progressing from last season, digressing? Like, what's a key to their success for this season?
I think a lot of it comes down to Makar being healthy. And Toews, he didn't miss a significant amount of time, did he? Last year?
Not a terrible amount, no.
I mean, we can't really ask Makar to do anything more than last year. So I don't want to say that they're going to, by progress, staying at that top maximum level is progress. Does that make sense? I think that is, that would be like the A+ grade, as opposed to, it's not like that would be a downgrade to say that, well, they're only as good, they didn't get any better this year, because
at
some point he has to stop getting better, right?
So in my, I guess, opinion, this pairing is one of the best pairings in the league. Okay. And I want to preface with saying that first, before I go in and talk corrections. Like this, so this pairing it's got the dynamicness. I mean, just Cale Makar alone is your all-around generational player. You know what I mean? He has changed the game of hockey as we know it. That's generational talent, right? So just the fact that you have him on your team and you pair that with Devon Toews, who, by the way, I don't think I've heard in a long time. He was once a New York Islander. I feel like I need to bring that up again, because it's been a long time since someone has said that.
I would imagine that that's one of the ones that he loses sleep on, because I don't think he really does for many, but we definitely made out well on the Devontaes.
Oh, it was highway robbery, Britt. Oh my gosh. Now, that being said, do I think this tandem is going to progress? I think so, right? And maybe it doesn't necessarily come off of points, but rather consistency or something to that extent where
And a lot
like
on the
last
defensive side
season
probably is where we'd sorry.
No, you're good. So I was just saying the big thing that I noticed last season that was really driving me up a wall was there was a lot of, I mean, as great as these two players are, and they were great last year, there was a lot of just splotchy plays where it was almost rookie mistake type things from these two particularly that I noticed. And
It is
it was
incredible.
frustrating.
No, I think wasn't that you and I talking there was one where Taze passed up the slot directly to the other team's player, and the other team's player was like shocked, and he shot it and scored it, and that was one of the big Georgiev freakouts. I think that some of the most like sloppy goals come from Makar and Taze. It's always shocking to see how they really are the ones leading up to the most frustrating goals. But I've said it before, when you are at that level, the margins for mistake are really, really small. And then when they mess up, they look a lot bigger because they don't have nearly the time and space as like a buffer. I don't know if I'm conveying that right, but that's why I am
No, I get it.
Gonna try to say that that's why their goals against while they've been on the ice are really astounding sometimes. I would love to see less of them because I think you and I were talking at one point and they had like 3 turnovers directly into the slot. Was that in like that? It was one of the Dallas games or something, but
in one of the Dallas games. Yep.
That's not a margins issue. That's I don't know. I
It's
don't
just
know
bad
what the
play.
issue is.
I mean,
Sloppy, yeah.
it's
Probably
just
indicative of
sloppy.
the mental state they were in.
Yeah. So that would be kind of my big key to success is really to just minimize those. And I understand that everyone's going to just have kind of a brain fart moment every now and again. No one's exempt from that, you know, not even McKinnon or McDavid or anyone to that extent. But it's about minimizing the error. And if you're going to commit an error, you better, you know, come with a backup plan to mitigate that collateral, I guess, for lack of a better term. So it's also going to be, in my opinion, very hingent on how Devon Taves can produce. Now, I said just earlier, I know as far as will they progress? Yes, but maybe not as far as goals. In Devon Taves' specific case, I would really like to see him scoring more often. Not necessarily goals, but just having points production.
Yeah.
Period. Yeah, just shooting it on the net, putting, you know, getting some kind of a juicy rebound in there, something to that extent, because it felt a little too far and few between last season where he had like an awesome 6-game streak and then just disappeared for a month. You know, it was that would be my big kind of concern, is just to make sure that if you're streaky, stay streaky. You know what I mean?
Right.
In the good way.
And that triggers, like, I would like to attribute a lot of that refusal to shoot or overpassing to just like mental frazzle. Like when you think about the Georgiev time period, I think that's when we really saw some of the worst play we had ever seen out of Taze and Makar. And I think that, as much as I make everything about goalies, I think that having 2 solid goalies that they can play in front of without having to think of who's in net will allow for you to play with a little bit more confidence. Because if you are leaving the blue line, even just 10 feet in, to be a little more offensive, like to pressure some offense, and you get beat, I mean, you have a goalie back there that's let in 4 goals every game for the last 10 years, or if you know that you have McKenzie and net who, you know what I mean? You play differently when you know that you can trust the guy behind you to not, first off, go off the rails if they do end up having to save you, but also he'll save it and enjoy doing it.
I think back about, the Darcy Kemper, Pavel Francouz tandem, where half the time it felt as if the team performed better when Francouz was in net.
Yes.
Not to say that they didn't with Kemper, but just it seemed like sometimes whenever Kemper was having a bad game or whatever, they'd put in Francouz and all of a sudden they'd come back 3-0, 4-0 and win the game, and it's attributed to maybe being comfortable with how Francouz played because of his time with the Avs or something to that extent. Now, present day, you have Blackwood and Wedgwood. They're going to start the season with the Avs, and I think you're exactly right. It's going to be that comfort level where that if you can start to take some more liberties, I guess, for a lack of a better word, and you'll be okay because you have pretty much a brick wall that can stop something if something does go wrong.
Right. Well, and there's a very I don't know what the less dramatic wording would be, but there's a sacred bond between the defenseman and the goalie. And if it's really good off the ice, it means a lot on the ice and vice versa. I don't know of a single person that I play with regularly that I can stand if there's somebody that treats me like shit on the ice. Like it's so dependent on one another for the goalie to trust their defenseman, because then they can play out a little bit farther. They can take more risks. And I don't know that you could ask for a more likable or trustworthy duo than both of them, really. I think Blackwood's a lot more quiet. I don't know if you saw the wedding videos from this weekend, but oh my God.
I saw a couple of them. Yeah.
It is so nice to see them just like they like each other. And who's there is Natchez. So
Yeah.
It's
playing here, so
having a goalie that gets along well with the team and isn't can you hear me? It's throwing it back. I'm not sure if you can hear me real quick. Okay. Yep. It's just the game is so different, and I know that I'm blowing it up, but other people maybe need to blow it up just a little bit more and me blow it down. But I feel like everything is different when you consider the mental state and the physical state. The physical state is only going to benefit from the mental state this year. I really hope. I mean, we do have to consider, though, that Devontae's is not like a spring chickadee, but he does seem like his game is one that isn't going to sour like immediately.
Sure. And you're right. He's got spurts of greatness. Like I think of the game against Buffalo, where he single-handedly took the puck away from Tage Thompson, came careening down. This is an overtime, right? Steals the puck from Tage Thompson, comes screaming down the ice the other direction, and pots the overtime winner. Like, that was all 100% him. He did not need a single other player to help him. And that's the kind of play style that I know he's still capable of, you know?
Back pocket, but he's definitely, I think, the top contender for guys that I take for granted on the Avs.
Sure.
Like, I don't recognize enough because he's not flashy, but then when he reminds us that he's really, really capable of just about anything on the ice, it's nice.
Yeah.
Because he's done it a couple times.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. So again, we're going to be fine with this top line. And I still stand by what I said. They're one of the best out there in the league right now. It's just that there are some sloppy little mistakes that they made last season. This is all just corrections from last season. I know they can correct them. It's not that difficult. As long as they're able to do so, I'm not really going to have any big issues with this top pairing, to be completely honest with you.
If you have an issue, then you need a
touch grass
lesson in being grateful, because I mean, truly, we are being blessed with the greatest defenseman in the world. I don't care who he's with. Like, people got it.
Yep.
I don't think there's anyone better.
All right, moving on to the next defensive pairing, Sam Girard and Josh Manson. Now, keep in mind, this was recently announced that Sam Girard got injured somehow, some way, along with Mackenzie Blackwood, and they were considered week to week and may or may not be ready for the home opener / season opener, even that earlier that week. And it's kind of been hush hush. However, they do intend for them to basically start maybe a week or two after the start of the season. So I don't think it's going to be really that much of a big dip. So we're just going to continue to cover these two as a tandem. So I'll go first with this one then, Britt. This tandem is going to be very interesting in that Sam Girard actually played a relatively good game last season. Yeah, he didn't have that many goals or anything to that extent, but he had plenty where he potted an overtime winner. I remember that one. He had plenty of assists, and his footwork and skate work was back to what we have seen him have it as before. The real question mark is going to be health in this line, especially with Josh Manson.
I mean, I really feel like Girard is generally healthier, and his are a lot of like kind of freak stuff, but like Manson's is, I don't know if it's something that we've ever been told. What does he have, like recurring injuries, or is he just?
I know a couple have been recurring, but it feels like every single time it's always something new. But I want to say last season, one of them was re-aggravated.
He needs to let it be for the regular season, because the thing is we love Josh Manson because he plays like an animal, and that is going to be the cost of playing those areas of the ice. I mean, he is truly one of the most fearless people in the NHL, but it would be nice to see him keep it in check and come back in the playoffs. He can be unleashed, but it does seem like the first year him in the playoffs, I wish I would have seen
incredible.
And I don't know, but I don't think it's possible for a person to play the way he does and not get injured this regularly.
I think so.
So I think, probably a happy middle. And then Sammy, he just has like really bad luck.
It seems like it. I mean, you look at the 2022 season where we went and won the cup, got his neck broken, and he wasn't able to participate in the finals. So it's when you have a healthy tandem like that, and more importantly, when they're playing at their best, like when we've seen Manson in the playoffs, when we've seen Girard on these random games where he'll just go on just these little tears of his own, you have a really good second pairing. Like they by themselves, they're fine.
Yeah.
It's that question of health, because Manson always having to have a new or lingering injury. It's Girard with, is he going to fall back into a slump? It's those types of questions where, are they there to be visible and to kind of do some damage, or are they going to be damaged, right? That's kind of the big question mark.
But they're going to be fun as shit, because we got Sammy spinning, and I Manson just hitting it when I see like Manson with the puck, and I'm trying to decide, is he going to do one of those things? Because it is always shocking when he
just takes matters into his own hands.
Yes, he is truly one of the most like unpredictable defensemen that seems to just be able to get breakaways too often. Yeah. He's not a great finisher, but it's still really fun to watch him.
It really is. And that's just it, is like I said before, they both have these moments of greatness where it's like, okay, we'll do that all the time. Like they have the
Mhm.
capability.
Yeah.
So again, my expectations, they're not going to be anything to the level of a Taves and Makar type thing, but my expectation is for them to just be solid, where they're not burdensome, where they're not riddled with injuries. I understand you can't control that aspect, but to play
Yeah.
a solid game of hockey. And if that means a goal goes your way, if an assist goes your way, that's fine.
Yeah.
But their role, at least in my mind, is to, kind of be creators more than
Right.
finishers, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what they bring this year. And especially when you've got guys like Nietzsche's and Nelson. I'm curious to see if our defense gets more opportunistic with the guys that we have now that don't seem to be as much. I don't know. We'll see.
We
Sorry,
will.
I'm working through too much on that. I love watching Josh Manson go in, and I love watching Sam Girard when he is filling caddy. So I'm really hoping that we can see a little bit more of that and shame the forwards into shooting more.
I think,
I can do it.
I think so. Okay. So that being said, the last pairing, your third pairing, is going to be Sam Malinsky and Brent Burns. So this one is going to be very interesting. Now, here's going to be kind of a bold prediction of mine. These two just might, end up being the second pair at the end of the season. Both of them. Okay. Now let me explain before you start losing your mind. Brett Burns comes from Carolina, on the top line, on top production on the defense from the Hurricanes. Okay. He still has it in him. And mind you, in media availability, the world loves him. Okay. I love him. All right. Like, he's a good dude. All right. Pair that and everything he is still able to accomplish and not get injured. Pair that with Sam Malinsky, who is kind of coming into his own. I was watching just actually season highlights of the Avs, where the NHL puts together an entire compilation of every single goal scored by the Avs, and I noticed the few from Malinsky, and his positioning is awesome, his firepower is amazing, his puck handling skill is looking really clean. He's got this potential, right? To a point where I'm totally happy with him staying on the ice. I'm happy with him, trying to take initiative, trying to take command. And you pair that with the veteran leadership of Brett Burns. And honestly, I think it's going to be a very good third pairing defensive line. So that's kind of my expectation with them, is to get that chemistry quick and to do something with it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be so fun. I am so excited to cheer for him.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me? I'm not sure.
I got you. Yep, I got you.
Your back door. Okay. There we go.
So sorry, what were you saying then?
Oh, I just I feel like there are pretty much endless directions that the Brett Burns contract could go. Like, it's going to be very, very interesting to see if he ends up an Avs legend or one step closer to being fired for Kristen Farland type thing. I'm trying to not get too excited about it. He is older, so he might just not be very good, but he's not someone that should have a fall off or that would be complacent in not being competitive. You know what I mean? So I think we're going to have a very good time watching it.
Yeah, and Jared Bednar even said he expects a lot from Brett Burns, right? Like, it's not going to be like just because he's a third pairing defenseman doesn't mean that his like maybe minutes are going to diminish, or that the expectation of him to still go and score or produce or forecheck, backcheck, power or penalty kill, whatever that is. I don't think that expectation is going to dip at all. This is just where he happens to slot. And I've said this last week, and I'll say it again this week. Jared Bednar does, I mean, we all place people on their lines, right? Jared Bednar does not, right? He will place anyone wherever he sees the necessary fit in order to either get momentum back, to swing something our way, to go out and be aggressive. I mean, he knows how to run his own system, and for doing that, he goes and puts the right places or the right pieces into place so that can happen. So don't be surprised if you do see Brett Burns with Cale Makar, or if you do see Sam Malinsky with Josh Manson. You know,
I think it'll be way. Yeah, don't fall in love with any lines. I mean, if he's not even like, he broke up the 20s line really fast, didn't he? Like, and that was people are making t-shirts out of that. So I wouldn't fall in love with any line this year at all, really.
Yeah. Yep. So I'm excited for Brett Burns. I think the addition is going to be just absolutely stellar. I think he's going to just come into his own just fine. But there's always that question of how is he going to fit with the Avalanche system? Now, he's played in a couple of really aggressive defensive systems before in his time when he was with the Sharks. They had a really good defense there back in the time when he was with them. And Carolina has always kind of just had this stellar blue line. So I think he's going to be just fine. I think the key to success, at least for that line, is getting their chemistry together, but then getting his chemistry with the system put into place.
Well, and what's nice is he will adjust while also having far less expected of him. The role that we need him to play is not nearly I can't even think of what word I'm trying. It's not one that he has really had before, has he? I mean, he's always been one of the guys that a team needs, or they are not going to have success. And as much as I don't, what?
I said he's just a workhorse. That's all. I mean, he goes in, he hits hard, he leaves. Like, that's kind of his MO, you know?
And the thing about guys like him that concerns me like a little bit is you got to wonder if there's going to be a drop off, for him in that transition period where he isn't, he's not. Oh, you're frozen. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. We're good.
Oh, just that the whole success or failure of a team doesn't fall on him. He's not one of the dudes that will be like wildly under the limelight and in the articles if he's doing poorly. He's not really, because I think that motivates some people really well, and keeps them, like, even like Toronto players they just don't want everybody to hate them. So that, I would imagine, is probably not his, though. I think he's just a goofy guy that blows it all off. I don't know.
No, I mean, you're right. I mean, he hockey to him is fun. It's his job, and he gets to do what he loves, and hopefully that kind of rubs off onto Sam Malinsky and the rest of the defense, and ergo the rest of the team, to be honest with you.
That's the biggest thing I'm excited about. An injection of Burns and Landeskog on this team, like, oh my God.
Yeah. So that being said, that's the 6 that we're going to discuss for the defense. So now we just have one left, Britt, and this is one where you definitely have the expertise in, And that's going to be the
Oh.
goaltending. That's going to be the goaltending tandem of Mackenzie Blackwood and Scott Wedgwood. Now, keep in mind, Mackenzie Blackwood is also one of those players where he randomly got injured, right?
Yep.
And he may be there for the start of the season. He may not be. Again, it's kind of kept under wraps. I've heard 2 different things coming from 1,000 different people. So it's hard to say as far as what it actually is. However, you're still going to have them for the majority of the season. So that being said, the key to success for the tandem of the Denver Lumberyard, as they're called, Scott Wedgwood and Mackenzie Blackwood. What do you think that's going to be, Britt?
I think that it is like the epitome of stability if they're healthy. Not stability, but balance is, I think, the word I'm looking for. Balance would be.
Yeah.
When I think of the best teams, I just don't ever. Can you hear me? I'm sorry.
Yep.
It's bouncing back at me again.
Yep, we're good. I got you.
Yeah.
Yep. Are you there? Oh, she might be tuning out. So we'll get back to her in just a second. I'll go ahead and say my piece. So for the tandem for the Denver Lumberyard, as it were, Britt did mention health, which I think is going to be a big thing. However, my big, I guess, key to success is actually going to be momentum when it comes to who starts, right? As in the momentum shouldn't change based off of who's in net. We saw that a good number of times last season, right?
Hello?
Yeah. Oh, there you are. You're back.
Okay, you can hear me? Okay.
Okay. So let me finish my thought then real fast, Britt,
no,
and then we'll jump back to you. Sorry about that.
Yeah. No.
So like I was saying is my key to success for this tandem is about momentum or keeping momentum regardless of who's in net. And we did see that from time to time, or I guess not from time to time, a lot of the time where you felt just as comfortable if Wedgwood was in net versus if Blackwood was in net, right? Like there was no drop off in confidence for either goaltender, for confidence from the team, confidence from the fans. You were just like, oh, person A is in net, or oh, person B is starting tonight. Great. Like you didn't care. And that was an issue that we had last season where at the beginning, if it was Georgiev, you were like, who are we getting? And if it was Annunen, you're like, is he going to rescue us? Like it was just question after question. And it became hard to defend those two because it was like you lost confidence. And remember, Britt, for 2 years, you and I were just on the Georgiev train till we die, you know, like it was that kind of a thing.
God. Absolutely.
But it eventually kind of died off. But now you have these two goaltenders who, at least their 3/4 of the season with the Avs, showed that confidence can be reinstated, and all they need to do is just play a solid game. The offense can then take care of the rest.
Yep. Well, and that's the fun thing about goalies is like, who knows? Tomorrow they might show up and be world class, but the fallout, it seems like the higher they go, the lower they can fall back down. So what I like about Blackwood is that his lows aren't they don't seem to be long stretches or extremely low. He's relatively proven that he's definitely an NHL goaltender. He's definitely going to stay one. Like, I don't think even if he had a bad year with us, we traded him, I don't know that he would end up a backup anywhere. I think that he is a guy that doesn't have that super, super, super high ceiling like the Shesties, but I really do have a big appreciation for the fact that he doesn't oh my God, it's doing it again. Are you able to hear me?
Yep. We got you.
Okay. I think that
Thumbs up.
this team could use the stability and trust versus the wild. Don't know for sure if we're getting the good guy or the bad guy tonight. I think that this is the fit for this team. You know what I mean? Or like an angry Bennington. Honestly, like two goofy ass goalies is like just what the doctor called for on and off the ice. Because I think they have some goaltender therapy issues in that locker room from the last couple years, especially when they like released a couple various videos. I think it was Guerrilla Sports, and they were just like discussions. But if you watch Georgie just when he's not being recorded or not paying attention, he is so miserable. So I just can't imagine having to play with someone because I've played on teams that I am miserable, and it is truly so awful, and it's so hard, and it throws off everything. Like the whole game is thrown off, but to do it under that pressure is honestly like nightmare scenario for me. Like I don't know. I'm really excited for them to have stability, and they are going to have to prove me right or wrong as to whether they're better than what they've given us. They've just not had the stars line, because I'm going to say it a million times this year. Like, this is put up or shut up.
Yeah, I think starting the season with these two, or I guess starting the season with these two, or at least one of the two, is going to be a step in the right direction, right?
Yeah.
And this is they alone are going to take the burden of how well is this first, I'd say, quarter of the season going to be, because ultimately, like I said last week, that was kind of what screwed the Avalanche over toward the end of the season. It's like if you would have just won
exactly
8 or 9 of these games that you lost in the first quarter, it's like that would have put you in second place. You would have had home ice advantage against the Stars. Like I've become a true believer in beginning of seasons now.
Exactly.
I used to not think they were that important, but now I totally backtrack. I'm fine to eat crow on that one.
I would love the statistics to see. Oh, I'm sorry. It keeps making me think.
No, you're good.
All right. I'm sorry. I keep thinking it's done, and I'm just like interrupting you because I can't quite catch. But I am also on that train as far as starting the season right, because you always can plan what's ahead of you, but when you can plan for, I suppose is more the term that I mean. I hate the thought of this team has to win for me to do this. I don't want to have them be reliant on other teams' failures in order to get something, you know what I mean, to accomplish the next.
Yeah.
I think that's like.
I think that's like what now? Oh, she might have disappeared once again. Okay, so I'll kind of tangent off of what she was saying. So it's really imperative in these situations, because if the offense, especially earlier in the season, which I don't think is going to be much of an issue considering how healthy you are, if they don't have everything up to snuff, right? If they're not going to be as completely healthy and as completely on top of the puck as possible or as productive as possible, it's that goaltending tandem that is going to end up saving you games in the long run, right? And that's going to be the hard part, is how this tandem is going to basically bail you out. And this could actually be up in both directions, right? Where even if it's the start of the season or even toward the end, these goaltenders, they need to steal a game or 2 or 3 for you, especially when the offense isn't producing. Yeah, I got you now.
Okay. Yeah, I'm ready for a goalie to steal a damn game, even when we just are playing awful. Not even one of the I just it's been so long since we've seen something magnificent from the goalie for any like extended period of time, because even Kemper was like, he wasn't boring, but he wasn't like magical. So I really think that Mackenzie's gonna grow into his showiness, and I think that I don't know. I just am excited to
Yeah.
see a goalie that wants to be there. How can you not want to be? Can you hear
In
me?
Denver. Yep, I got you.
No, just I mean, okay, so a goalie for Cale Makar and Devon Tays. And it's like you think about how miserable Georgiev was, and it's like he is, I don't know, it's a shame that they didn't get to overlap Georgie with one of the nicer ones, because I would be curious to see if one of them understood him or could give some insight into what was going on, or if, I don't know
Yeah.
that there's a problem with but I I'm sorry, every time I start, it's coming back
No,
at
you're
me.
good. I'm good. We're good.
I think that a goalie who loves to play on their team and who loves their team and who loves the sport of hockey is clearly always going to be more fun to watch.
Sure. Yep. And I think that's going to be a fun thing to see, is when a goalie has a good attitude or is positive despite win or losses. It's about rebounding. It's about
Right.
recovering from personal aggravations or whatever it is. And you have that in these two. Wedgwood specifically, when he came in last season before Blackwood did a couple weeks later, it felt like it was like a shot of adrenaline in the arm. Like it was incredible just to see his positivity, the way he tried to rally up the team, stuff like that. And it was honestly really refreshing. And you bring in Blackwood after that, and he's kind of his own entity of, sometimes he's serious, sometimes he's not. You don't know what you're getting, but no matter what, you're getting a
Yeah.
solid uh,
But
day out of him.
I mean, there is a reason that he ended up where he was when we got him. How old did we say he was? I don't know why I can never. Is he 26 or 28?
Oh, he was. Hang on, I could tell you that right now. Just give me just a second. You're
Blackwood.
talking about Blackwood, right?
Yeah. Off-season injury.
He is 28.
That is, I am like so um shocked that he's still so young, because it seems like he's been around a while. But I am he was written off like way too early for
Oh yeah.
what I believe is, even to assess him, like I don't know. He was going there to fulfill a purpose for them. And I hope that he
Go ahead. Ah, cut off at the wrong time, right on the cliffhanger. Oh man, that's too bad. So we'll get to Brit's thoughts in just a second. However, um, just one last thing to note with these goaltenders before we go on is this is going to be, I guess, more crucial for them than it is for the rest of the team. And the only reason I say that is because of exactly what we were talking about. It's if they aren't playing good, it's hard for the rest of the team to have to
hear
catch
me.
up and save them. There you go. Hey, how are you?
Okay.
Um,
Yeah,
but it's harder for a team to play around a bad goalie than it is for a good goalie to play around a bad
it really
team, in my
is.
opinion.
Yeah, you can't you don't have the control of your future. You know what I mean? If your goalie's letting in 10, it's not like it the mental side of it, when you feel you can win every game, because you know that your goalie is there to win every game is so unbelievably important. I don't think that it's like thought about or discussed nearly enough. What I'm saying is like everybody should pamper their goalie and treat them like, royalty. No, but like I really do think you're right.
Yep. So it's going to be interesting for these two particularly. However, Brit, jumping subjects, we've got hockey that is to be played in 2 days' time. Preseason is back. We're doing a split squad game on Sunday, both against the Mammoth. And if I'm not mistaken, you're going to see one Gabe Landeskog in one of these two games. Yeah. And that's exciting. Okay.
Yeah. Well, they cut the preseason down. They're not who is the sorry, I'm trying to pull this up here. Who was announced today as
Guess what are we going to look for in these preseason games? What do you think the keys to success are for both the veterans, those who have been around, or for the new kids who are trying to prove something? What do you think the keys to success are for this preseason game?
I don't know if who's all playing for us. I'm trying to see if they announced who's going to be playing.
I haven't seen rosters or anything yet, so I'm guessing it's a mix of veteran and not veteran. So that's kind of the hard part,
Yeah, I think the keys to success is Gabe Landeskog not having like anybody near his knee whatsoever. The preseason thing weirds me out with Landeskog because you've always got that guy looking to be noticed or make a name. But honestly, I think most of them would know that if you ruin Gabe Landeskog's knee, you'll go to hockey hell. Like you'll never sign a contract again. But I don't love him playing any preseason, but
he's got to do something.
Yeah.
And I'd rather the earlier bit because that means it's kind of the younger kids where he can kind of throw his weight around against them and kind of protect his knee a little bit more. However, I listened to Jared Bednar's comments today, and he said, like, it's not about being cautious. It's just about being smart, which is why they didn't practice him for a couple days in a row. It's
and that's
like
where
totally
you
fine with
your
him.
decisions. Yeah.
Yeah, they're totally fine with him and where he's comfortable. And it's just a question of how do you want to take care of this, Gabe? Do you want to skate today? Do you not? Like, they're happy with anything. Obviously, he's fine because he freaking played in a playoff game against Dallas, scoring a goal, having a couple of assists in that series. Like, he'll be fine.
It's probably really nice for him to play a low stakes, but
that's exactly what my sentiment is he can just go make sure he's kind of got the motion still, the know-how, all that kind of stuff. And then just maybe not play a preseason game until the last one or something to that extent. And I think he's fine. Yeah. As far though as the new kids, and I talked about this a couple weekends ago or a couple episodes ago, that there are those who are still trying to prove something, right? Yeah. And I was talking about Taylor McCarr and Nikita Prishkapov in particular.
Yeah.
You still have Bardakov. You still have Ivan, who I still think is going to take that fourth line left or right wing.
Oh, okay.
But
I'm frozen. I'm not sure if you can hear me or you're frozen and everyone's listening to me think that you're frozen.
It's these moments for these most how many preseason games did we say they were going to have this season? 6, and then it's going whittled down to 4, if I'm not mistaken.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, cool.
Did I chunk out again?
I'm not positive if it was you or me, because I don't get to see my stupid faces I usually get to. So
No,
when
good.
it freezes on me.
Oh, gotcha. So recap then just what I said, if in case I did break out. It's a chance for the younger kids to prove why they deserve a roster spot. They're mostly Eagles players that are trying to get into this. They have kind of a my goodness, my Wi-Fi just died.
All right, can you hear me now?
I got you. Sorry, I totally dropped out in that case. All right, my Wi-Fi is not going to play nice to me, so we might have to wrap this up, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't know. The gods they're not here for it today, apparently.
They're not, man. That's strange. So, okay. So, with everything I said, we'll get more in depth on the season and the big reviews in the coming weeks, but for what you guys need to know now, hockey's back. And Avalanche hockey is going to be here in 2 days for a split squad game against the Mammoth. I am very excited for one. So I'm pumped that there's something back that we can finally grab onto and actually watch some meaningful hockey.
Yeah.
So that's kind of going to be our episode. I think we'll run it in. Okay. We're going to have to make this quick. Sorry, friends. They're kicking us out every which direction we turn. So, that being said, don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow the MHRT network so you can get notified when shows like the Cluster Puck podcast go live. You can do so on the various social media platforms of your choosing. And if you want to follow us, we ask that you do so at the Cluster Puck podcast on Facebook and at Cluster Puck Avs on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. Apologies for trying to rush this through. Apparently, the Wi-Fi doesn't want to want us to finish the episode. So, with that being said, Avalanche hockey is back. Enjoy the split squad preseason game. We'll talk to you guys next week. And as always, go Avs, go. Fast lane when I pass in the street. Bag of money in the passenger seat. Tempo's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast racking up the flight miles. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle.